Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Rangers Review Morning Briefing. It is Wednesday, the 19th of November. I'm Derek Clark, and it brings me great joy to say that we're joined on the show by Stevie Clifford. How goes it, Stevie?
Mate, good morning. How are you? Hope everybody is well. I've had a bit of a disaster this morning, Derek. I'll be honest with you. It's not been a good morning in the old office of Stevie, so...
Will you share your
Would you like me to elaborate? It's a bit of a silly story, but I'm going to tell it anyway.
Yes.
My bottle of water that I take in every day, I hadn't sealed it properly, so it's opened in my bag, right? So when I came up, I thought, why am I wet? And all down my back, back of my jeans, and that was all wet. So I was like, and my bag, which had my computer in it, was soaking. So I had to empty out all my bag, and then I've shoved my bag on the radiator. So that was fine. So this guy came in for an interview with me at 8:30, and the guy came in and he's like, it's really smoky in here. And I was like, instantly, he's not getting a job. What's he talking about? Smoky in here. And then I kind of realised, I thought he's right. And he's like, did you smell burning? I was like, I do now that you said it. So my bag was roasting because it was right at the radiator and it was kind of giving off that wet kind of smoke thing. So yeah, almost set the office on fire, Derek, thanks to the fact I wasn't paying attention. The poor guy, like I was totally off-put by him by saying that and everything else. I thought, what are you talking about, smoky? But it turns out he was right. So the good news is, Derek, I hired him. He did get employed this morning.
Well done, that chap.
So yeah, just for saving my job and letting me know that I hadn't set the office on fire yet. So yeah, it's been an eventful morning. So saves me right for staying up late, Derek. I'm half asleep today. It's not good.
Yeah. Tell you what, that happened to me once, and it's due to these new bottle caps you get on bottles that they don't close properly. So you need to watch. I stuck a bottle in my bag once, and it spilled all over my laptop, and it broke my laptop pretty much. I had to go and buy a new one. So just word of warning, folks, just make sure that the bottle caps are on, because you can't tell these days, given the the EU regulations and what have you. But there you go. We digress. Anyway, let's crack on. Quick word for our podcast sponsor before we talk all things Rangers. The great guys at Willows Fencing, the Glasgow-based fencing company you can trust and proud partners of the Rangers Review. They offer free consultations. You get 10% off as well if you use the code Rangers Review at on their website, which is willows-fencing.com, and the all-important details are in the description below this video. And you'll also see in the description below this video as well the details to sign up to our website. Of course, we've got the Black Friday sale, which was launched on Monday. So many of you have taken up the offer already, so thank you to each and every one of you, and thank you to our existing subscribers as well. We're offering a year subscription for 12 quid. Cracking value, and you won't regret it, folks. You'll get stories like the story the other day when we announced that the new set-piece coach, the first ever set-piece coach, was going to be Scott Fry. Rangers confirmed that announcement yesterday, and I'm keen to get your thoughts on Scott Fry, Stevie, before we delve into the internationals and what have you. But Rangers appointing the Lincoln City set-piece coach as part of Danny Rayle's backroom setup. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, my thoughts are good if you remove the old optics of the fact he's Kevin Thelwell. Yeah. Let's park that for a second. So Lincoln, off the top of my head, have faced 92 corners this season so far and conceded 3. So, one every 30-odd games conceded is pretty successful. And last year they scored 64 goals. And 30 of them were from set pieces as well. So you put those numbers into our game, and I'm saying that's quite a successful thing. Now, we can't go out and get the Arsenal, set piece guy, because he would be the ultimate, wouldn't he? He would be the best guy in the world, you would think, that the way Arsenal do their set pieces. So where do we have to go and get? And this guy's got a good track record. He's doing good things. People then say, it's only Lincoln and everything else. This guy's journey's kind of just begun in coaching. So I'm all for it. I don't mind it in the slightest. And I'm quite happy with that. The Kevin Thelwell aspect of it, the whole optics side of it, isn't great. But it is what it is. Andrew Kavanagh told us that he would appoint people that were known, and it makes it easier. He told us that in Danny Rayle's press conference.
Yeah.
It doesn't really surprise me there's a link back to Kevin Thelwell, just like the academy boy as well. So it is what it is. But on the face of it, I think, it's something we've needed. and apparently he does all aspects of stoppages, throw-ins, set plays, corners, and
kickoffs.
He does everything. So good for him. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing an uptick in all these things, Derek, because we really do need it, and it's those marginal gains that we need to make sure that we're taking advantage of, which we're currently not.
Yeah, and he's a real obsessive about set plays and the likes. Folks, I spoke to a Lincoln City podcaster last night. You can go and check that out. Ben Ward was absolutely excellent. Gave us some insight into him as a professional and also as a man as well. So, willing to give him a chance. It's certainly been a real issue for Rangers in recent seasons. Set pieces, for me, I don't think they make the most of them, and it's easy wins at the end of the day. I think it's a big part of the game, and if Rangers can improve in that aspect, both offensively and defensively, then it can only be a good thing for the team on the park. So, willing to give them a chance, and hopefully we see the fruits of that beginning on Saturday when Rangers return to action at home to Livingston. Very much looking forward to getting back in the swing of things. Yep.
Derek, the truth is, if we don't score 2 corners on Saturday, I want them out.
Yeah, no,
that's the way it goes. You know what I mean?
That is the way it goes. Right, moving on from that, I'll touch on before we touch on the internationals, and of course, a bit of a concern with regards to John Souttar and Derek Cornelius. Ex-Rangers boss Philip Clement back in the game, Stevie, down at Norwich City. I never seen that coming yesterday morning when it was confirmed that the Canaries were looking at Big Phil, but he was unveiled yesterday. Stefan van der Heyden joining him as well down there. And it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Certainly, I think the vast majority of Rangers fans would wish him well down there. Yeah,
I'm sure they would. I had to laugh a wee bit when he talked about I like to play high intensity, high press and attacking football. Do you, Phil? Look, good for him. Wish him well. I would wish anybody well, former Rangers player, or coach, whatever, manager. So, good luck to him. It's a surprise for me. I don't know how he sees that one unfolding, because Norwich are a bit of a club that could be a big club, but they're a long way down for him to turn that around. So, you would think anything's going to be a long-term project. Will he get given the time? I'm not so sure. I'd love to see him do well, but I don't want to rubbish this, but I don't see this being one that's going to work out for Philippe Clement. So let's just see. I really hope it does, but good luck to him, absolutely. But I don't see this being one that's going to be a long-term story. So I hope it is, but I have my reservations about it, that's for sure.
They've been struggling, Norwich, it's fair to say. So
that's what I mean, Derek. He's going into a job that, it's, you'll probably need to do things quickly, and he'll need an instant turnaround and all that. And they spent a lot of money in the summer, with very little return for it. We all know about that, sadly. And he's going into a really difficult job. I just don't see it as being. It's a strange move for me. So, his trajectory, Monaco, Rangers, Norwich. Okay. So, there's questions there. And I really wish him all the best. I don't want to come over as being negative, but I just don't see that as being one that's going to work out for him in the slightest. So, it'll be a real test for his managerial ability, that's for sure. If he does come out of it and turns it around, takes him up to the Premiership and stuff, then he's done a fantastic job there. So, one to watch with interest.
Yeah, I'll be keeping a close eye on it. He starts his campaign at St Andrews, where he famously, remember me and you were there, that pre-season game, which was a disaster of a Rangers performance, and famously remembered for coming back into the press conference and revealing all about Todd Cantwell, which was quite something. So, he kicks off his Canaries campaign at Birmingham City. So, it'll be, good luck, Phil. You're going to need it, that's for sure. Moving on from that, of course, the players will be returning from representing their international countries. Well done to Scotland last night. A crazy game against Denmark, and they booked their place in the World Cup next year. And some sensational goals, incidentally, as well, that were scored. However, John Souttar wasn't part of that game. He pulled up in the warm-up and was replaced by Grant Hanley. Now, not only that, but to add insult to injury, pardon the pun, Derek Cornelius was involved for Canada. He lasted just half an hour in their match against Venezuela and had to be taken off as well. So, Rangers may have a problem for Saturday, Stevie.
Yeah, part and parcel of international football, isn't it? A brilliant night of internationals, obviously. Nico Raskin in Belgium going through, as well as like an incredible game of football at Hampden, wasn't it? Absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. The goals were absolutely ridiculous. See even if you don't like Scotland or you don't watch football or whatever, you can't not watch Scott McTominay do an overhead kick like that from what easily, Derek, is 7 to 8 foot in the air to make contact with the ball like that, the way he did. At the height he's hit it with his leg that high, he's 7 or 8 foot up in the air, like incredible. Twice the size of me, Derek. And he's put that in the corner unbelievably. And then, with Shankland, you get the wee tap in, which I thought was straight in from the corner. Kieran Tierney's was an exceptional left foot shot. But the one that probably wins it all, Kenny McLean in the very last kick of the ball, more or less, you're wanting him to go to the corner or whatever, and he just looks up. And I said at the time, Derek, I'll say it again, only a lefty could do it like that. I saw Charlie Adam do it, and Kamar Roof obviously was a right footer, but lefties have so much, there was so much sort of class and grace the way they hit the ball. And Kenny McLean just made it look effortless. A wee bit of backspin on the ball, and it just drops in perfectly. Perfect wee pitching wedge, Derek, from the halfway line. Honestly, it was incredible. So, a great night. John Souttar and Derek Cornelius. Here's the thing. John Souttar's been pretty robust for us. So I would hope that John Souttar knows the sign of an injury and is pulled up and says, I can't continue, something's not right, which hopefully means it's not too bad. Derek Cornelius, and I'll say this, and I'll prepare to be getting a wee bit of criticism. He's a bit of a sick note, Derek. Like, see, during games and that, he's always kind of pulling up. He's always feeling hamstrings. He's always needing to go off early and stuff like that, or it seems like that. So that's a difficult one with both of them. Manny Fernandez might need to come out of his, retirement home that he's joined since he came up here. So that might be interesting. Nasa Giga's obviously there. Tav can play at centre back. So there is a few options, but we've got to say that Souttar and Cornelius are probably our top pairing. So with Braga on the horizon, that could be a really difficult thing. League game wise, they go into a good stretch now where they're going to need their first team players. So it's not good news, Derek. It's not good news. We'll just need to wait and see how it all unfolds, and then you'll get people saying, "Well, John Souttar hasn't played that well," and he hasn't. Derek Cornelius has been okay for me. He's been fine, but it's a whole balance of the centre backs. Nasa Giga hasn't looked the most comfortable. He hasn't looked the most experienced. It's an interesting one.
It certainly is a bit of a deliberation for the manager who he's going to select if both players are out of the game. Let's hope that. I mean, the Souttar one, it's a huge game for Scotland last night, so it has to be something pretty significant for him to just call it and not take part in the game. So I'm sure we'll get an accurate prognosis when we speak to Danny Rule on Friday, of course. I've lost track of the days, but it's Wednesday today. So, it will be intriguing to see what the extent of that is. Dave Fulton gets in touch. He says back three of Tav, Giga and Enciala on Saturday. Then you mentioned Fernandez there, Stevie. Could we even see Clinton Enciala, who has been seen in training, of course, but hasn't had a look in as yet? Talking about retirement home, he's well and truly in the freezer at the moment. Could he be drafted back in, perhaps? I would doubt it. If you're paying £4 million for a centre back, or what was it, £3 million for a centre back in Manny Fernandez, at some point you need to give him a shot. We were told that he's been unlucky with injury, and that's why he hasn't been in the squad and hasn't been playing. So now's your perfect opportunity. Clinton Enciala, I think, is well out of the picture. So for him to come back in would be a surprise to me. I say ahead of Manny Fernandez, definitely it would be a surprise, because Derek, look, we paid all that money for him. At some point, he's got to be given an opportunity. So on that basis, I would think that Manny Fernandez would be first in line. But a centre defence of Enciala, Tav and Giga would give me sleepless nights, because Giga's not looked the most confident. Enciala, we've seen it come on, it can have real issues, and Tav's probably the most reliable of them. And
there's reservations about his legs and stuff at centre back as well. So it wouldn't be the most solid central pairing. No. That's for sure, Derek. So, and I'm trying to be kind here. I don't want to come on and be negative every week. You know what I mean? But if you said to somebody, Nsiala, Giga and Tav as your back three, like surely it's not just me that would be going, it's a bit scary. So,
that tells me that where Rangers need to shop in January. I think it's essential.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I know. But I think defensively and up front, I think are the two key areas I would say that need addressed pronto. And I think we were on in with before a couple of weeks ago, and we were discussing that. And I know the window lasts until the 1st of February or whatever, and Rangers need players in the door pronto. As soon as that window opens, players need to be holding scarves above their heads and getting integrated immediately. That's it as far as I'm concerned anyway. Staying on the topic of internationals, a big congratulations to Dick Advocaat, Stevie. As Harvey quite rightly says, he's going to the World Cup with Curaçao. He's done remarkably well. 78 years of age now, Dick Advocaat, and he's taking Curaçao to their first ever World Cup. Does Juninho Bacuna still play with them? I'm not entirely sure, but thoughts on that? Seeing Dick at the World Cup?
Congratulations to Mr. Advocaat. Very nice guy, actually. I remember walking past ages and ages ago. It was my brother Stag do went to Amsterdam, and I'm talking 10 years ago. And I walked straight past him in Amsterdam airport, and I was wearing Rangers gear, and he took a look at me as he walked past, and then he stopped, came back and shook my hand and said, "Fantastic club. We will be back." And I always remember that from Dick Advocaat. So that was a good 10, 12 years ago, and he was a good manager for us. Dick Advocaat played some amazing football. Newman, Van Bronckhorst, Kanchelskis, Reina, Barry Ferguson.
Stop it, Stevie.
Craig Moore, Markin, Lorenzo Amoruso. So it was Sergio Perini at right back. What a team we had. Even guys in backup, Derek, like Jonathan Johansson and everything else who were top class, Gabby Amato. That was some time to be watching Rangers. And ironically, that was when I started getting my first season ticket, Dick Advocaat's first year. So, it was some time to be alive and watch Rangers, that's for sure. So wish him all the best. Massive congratulations. That's crazy. That's why I was laughing when you see such a, people saying, why is he doing that? Why is he going there to do that job? And he's off to the World Cup. So, hopefully it will not be a Scotland-Costa Rica moment if we were to draw them. You know how the football gods look at it. Dick Advocaat and his Scotland kind of connections and everything else. But good on him. That's quite the story, that one.
Yeah, smallest nation ever to qualify for a World Cup, which is quite something. Thank you to Willie, says Bacuna does still play for them. So there you go. You can go and watch Juninho Bacuna in action at the World Cup if that is to your liking. Staying on that front, incidentally, there's other Rangers players. You mentioned Nico Raskin quite rightly started for Belgium in their two matches. John O'Rourke was with the points. His Miovski on target too. He took his goal well for North Macedonia in a 7-1 thumping by Wales. But overlooking the result, Stevie, there is someone that desperately needs a goal. Hopefully that can perhaps give him a little bit of confidence, albeit his nation get absolutely embarrassed last night. But he needs to start firing for Rangers, does he not?
Yeah, he does. He's not been great. But what was the common denominator in his goal last night, which was Wales playing a high line, spacing behind, him being able to run in behind. By the way, it probably mirrored an Aberdeen goal that he scored against Rangers. Yeah, that's exactly the type he used to play against us, and it's exactly why I had reservations when we signed him, which was that he wouldn't be used in the same way, and I wasn't sure about his capabilities. So it's one of them ones, Derek, that Bojan Miovski, along with 6 or 7 other ones, really need to start at this time. Danny Rule's been in now a few weeks, and he'll start to formulate opinions. We're heading towards December into January transfer window. It's crunch time now. I think there's 7-8 games, before the turn of the year. And we go on a run, Derek, that should, in theory, be favourable to us. And I say that with all due respect and with great awareness of where we are. But on paper, this would be a period that Rangers would go, right, it's time for us to put the foot down and motor on a wee bit.
Yeah.
So it's up to Miovski, Chermiti, who wants to go to the World Cup with Portugal. I think maybe I've got more chance of going to the World Cup with Portugal. But if he wants that, and Asgard and Rothwell and Ant-Man and everything else that's been signed, Derek, it's about time these players all got their act together, should we say, and start hitting form and start proving that they're capable of playing for Rangers, because we have put a lot of investment into them, a lot of faith shown in them. So now's the time, Derek, to start proving.
It absolutely is. As a comment came in as well, another player that was involved was Oliver Antman. Someone asked this yesterday, incidentally, on Antman, because he played on the left-hand side. RFC B4RB says, Ollie Antman played left for Finland and got his goal. Is it worth a punt to put him on the left on Saturday to see if there's any sort of hope in the guy? You're already shaking your head, Stevie. He did play against Andorra, so you need to caveat it with that. He did score, of course, but wasn't at the best standard of opposition. He's another one. Came in on his debut, looked brilliant, very impressive. Since then, he looks a shadow of the player that Rangers have brought in. He's another one that's looking devoid of confidence. How do Rangers get the best out of him, do you reckon?
Just what I said a minute ago, he really needs to start showing it. The only reason I'm not shaking my head at the suggestion, it just would mean then moving Jerry Gassama, wouldn't it? And he's been your only shining light. And he's the one that you need to try and build up confidence-wise, because he really can perform and make the difference. So he scores at Dundee and we would shift him over to the other side. It doesn't make sense for me. So, no, Oliver Antman needs a run on the right-hand side. He needs to show what he can do, but that's down to his application as well. People talk about Tav not being, expressive and not kind of being loud or anything else. Tav's most vocal when he's right back, and he's got Ant-Man beside him and Giga in next to him, because he is not happy. He's not a happy guy, that's for sure. But that maybe speaks volumes, I think, for where they are as in terms of signings and ability. But listen, Derek, I don't want to be too critical, right? But see these new signings, they get their finger out a wee bit, and that's the easiest way to put it. And they need to start performing and showing that they're Rangers quality. And Oliver Antman, we can say, what can we do to help him and everything else? He needs to help himself. So it's up to them to start performing as much as it is up to us. But I'm not moving players around the pitch. I'm not moving Gassama and stuff like that out the way to try and get something out of a guy that has not shown it so far. So you want to be here, you want to play for Rangers, you want to show you've got what it takes, go and prove it.
Yeah. Just harping back to reminiscing about the better times as a Rangers supporter. Bill gets in touch. He says the second year of Advocaat's reign was amazing. Football we played was superb. It absolutely was, Bill. Rangers were finished 20-odd points ahead of Celtic that year, who were a bit of a basket case, but some of the football that Rangers played that season was really, really good. The only bugbear for me was they should have progressed further in Europe, and that's probably a criticism of Advocaat during his tenure at Rangers, given the money that he spent. Didn't do enough in Europe for my liking.
But that, you say that and you're right, but if they'd went to Munich that night and they got beat 1-0 and they missed some of the Oliver Kahn with an amazing save to Rod Wallace. I think they hit the post the bar 3 times. It was just one of those nights where it just wouldn't go in. They battered Bayern Munich at home and then let in a late equaliser free kick. I think Tarnit hit the free kick, and it was deflected in. Valencia completely outplayed them home and away. They were Mendieta was incredible, and then they battered PSV home and away. So I think they were unlucky that they hit a Valencia side.
But should have that's no disgrace coming third in that group. But they went out to, was it Dortmund and
after that. Was it Dortmund or was that the season after? I can't remember.
I think it was Dortmund. The season after was it Kaiserslautern, perhaps?
Oh, that was another glorious night to beat them 1-0 and then got beat 3-0 away. So Dortmund, after winning 2-0 and then get beat, didn't they? The last minute kind of equaliser away from home, wasn't it? So didn't Jens Lehmann come up for the corner in the last minute?
Yeah, Freddie Bobic scored, didn't he? Late on.
Glory days! Glory days.
So, but what a team domestically! It was a joy to watch that Rangers team in full flight. It really was, and I long for the days we have players of that caliber back with a blue jersey on them. I think those days are long gone. We've got some real top talent, world class.
When your fourth and fifth choice midfielder was two guy.
Yeah, couldn't get a game. Yeah.
Deary me, man.
Yeah, Gattuso couldn't get a game. He was shunted out to right back, hence why he left. And it's just, yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Hutch Plays gets in touch, just talking about when we top of the show, we talked about set piece coach joining. A few comments incidentally coming in about this. He says, are we any closer to the new assistant coach that's supposed to be a Rangers man? Of course, we had a story on the website last week. I think Chris had it on, that discussions were ongoing. A number of ex-Rangers men have been linked. Stevie Smith have been in the discussion, Stephen Davis and Neil McCann, I think it was, that have been in the frame. But at this point, no such announcement has been made. Sort of dragging on a little bit, Stevie, for you?
That probably takes a while to find Kevin Thelwell's family member or pal that has got a Rangers connection, doesn't it? So, he's obviously scouring the family tree to see which one's got a connection to Rangers. So, listen, Derek, we heard all this before with Russell Martin and it never really happened. I said last time we were on the show, I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't happen and you found that Stevie Smith got that position. And Smudger's good for it, I think. So they might just feel that Stevie, and the way he kind of led the team and had to come through all that, has been with the first team, and he might just be the one that stays as a continuation. So It is what it is, and we'll just need to wait and see. There hasn't been much news on it, so could that be Neil McCann had commitments with Scotland? Could it be Stephen Davis's commitments? Whatever, I don't know. I just don't know. So we'll need to wait and see what it is. But that's, it's one of those ones where we just need to wait and see. Wait and see what's happening with it.
Yep. Right, before you go, Stevie, I don't think we'll get you on before Saturday. Thoughts?
I'm doing post-match on Saturday, I think, with Joshua.
Are you? There you go.
Yes. Been called in. I was told by the boss man, no article this week, but I have to do the stuff with him on Saturday. So unfortunately for everybody, you'll see my jolly face on.
Well, let's hope you are jolly, because if you're not, then there's been a problem on the park.
See, if we're not, I'm not coming back. So
yeah, Rangers surely get a win, make it 4 from 4, Stevie, against Livingston. If you can't beat Livingston at home, then there's serious issues, isn't there?
Well, I would think so, but all due respect to Livy, they'll be hard to beat. They'll be organised, but need to just go and put our marker down and go and try and get the goals that will win the game. So every game is must win. Every game's another step towards confidence levels being where we want to be. So go and make it happen, Derek. But yeah, that's we'll worry about that on Saturday.
We absolutely will. Right, folks, that will do us there. Big thank you to Stevie for joining us on the show this morning. Thank you to you all for interacting with the show as well. It's very much appreciated. Remember, folks, hit that subscribe button if you aren't a subscriber. Hit the like button as well. It helps us here at the channel. Right, enjoy your Wednesday, whatever you're doing, and we'll chat again soon. Bye for now.